All right. So where have I been? I've been not here in front of the camera, talking to no one for around 3 months now. Since August. I want to say it was my last episode before my previous. Yeah, it was definitely August or even July. It was early August. So where have I been since early August? I got a job. And I mentioned it on that podcast and my newsletter. I put out the newsletter about 2 weeks ago. I mentioned it on the podcast, the I Got Scammed Job Edition. That did horribly. I mentioned it at the beginning of that one, but I've had a job for the past 3+ months. Yeah. And it's kind of hard to have a podcast about not wanting a job while having a job. Or is it? No. That's where I come to you today as just the inside of my brain on where I want to take this thing. And yeah, what I want it to look like, smell like, feel like. Why did I stop? Obviously, the obvious of not wanting to get fired is the main one. And it's what's kept me away for that long. But the other things I didn't think I'd appreciate as much were weekends. Enjoying your weekend is nice. It's nice. It's very relaxing, which I didn't have from October to August. I started this in October of 22. I think October. And then I went pretty much full time, in air quotes, until August. During that time, it was hard to enjoy things because I feel like I could have been working. I remember, so I went to Universal Studios back in April or whatever, and I couldn't enjoy it, mostly because I hate roller coasters. And I couldn't enjoy it because it was a nice day and I skipped out on caddying to go to a roller coaster park. It was fun, but it was like, it's fun, but I could have been making money to help support my rent. I went this past Saturday again. Believe it or not, I never thought I'd go again, but this time was actually not that bad. And when I was there, I was like, man, this is nice because I don't have anywhere else to be. I don't have any sense of, should I, shouldn't I? This is the weekend. As soon as I leave the office, it's mind turn off time. And that's been nice. And I knew that going in, and all these things, if you go back, I was saying beforehand of I predicted this. These are the benefits of being able to turn your mind off. It is nice. During my 75 hard days, forgot about those. I was putting together those horrible videos every day, at least an hour every day. dedicated to just those videos alone, if not 2, because I'm bad at editing. That's crazy. And for me to not even like my own product, and it's bad, I was dedicating 2 hours every day. I couldn't eat a meal. And I would sometimes. I couldn't eat a meal without being like, I should film this. Which is just, it's not the way to live. For me, for some, trying to be an influencer, basically. And I'm not. I'm not an influencer. And I wouldn't be good at it. So that's one of the topics I want to talk to you, camera, about today. It's just, part of me misses the days in which this was it. I had no social life besides going out and playing fetch with my dog. Then I had no friends in the area. And I would get a talking to most days from my mom about getting a job. And that was a very heated point of contention. Just every conversation would devolve into that. And I fought hard to keep that going. So then I moved out to LA. I didn't post too much coming out here because it was partially, this is like college again, kind of. I have friends again. I can go do things. Then it was, how am I going to support myself financially? So I got the job at the pet store. That feels so long ago. That feels so long ago. I did that for a month. The philosophy was get a part-time job and focus all the brain energy on the podcast. Then I caddied and just didn't get out that much and didn't make enough money to stay afloat. And even with those 2 jobs, I went from 25,000 in savings to 7 in 6 months. And I was not living lavishly. That has to be clear, first and foremost. I live way more lavishly now, and I don't even live lavishly because I can barely afford rent and necessities. But I'm at least breaking even now, give or take. Before it was just straight down. Man, that whole time is just a blur. I can't even think back to that time. Probably blocked it out. It's been 10 months since I moved here. Yeah, so now that I'm the brief history of the podcast, I'd put out 49 episodes. It's a lot of content. I put out 49 episodes. I put out a bunch of TikToks and YouTube shorts and the YouTube video for this, even some YouTube clips. Instagram. I did a decent amount of hours. Nowhere near what it takes to be famous, but I put forth a good amount of hours with zero pay. Negative pay, in fact. Not that much, but $12 a month for the hosting service, and I bought Canva Pro for some things. I spent $1,000 on that consultant. Other than that, relatively free. I feel like as I just look at it now, as I've zoomed out from those days, the show sucks. I'm very self-critical, obviously. It's too meta. It's about wanting to start a podcast while not wanting a real job. And I'm shocked it didn't take off from a no-name. I'm not shocked. The videos that did the best on my TikTok is stuff I don't want to do anymore. I was doing it. That's one of the things I want to talk about today. Is doing this for you or doing it for me? I was doing a little bit of both. I got way more success with doing it for you. The videos that did well on my TikTok, my bartending video, I can't even watch that all the way through. It's so bad and so cringe. I can't watch it all the way through. That has what? 1.2 million views or something. A bunch of my acid reflux stuff, which again, you would have to Clockwork Orange me into watching. And then I did some other, caddying videos. It was, let me do what I think I'm supposed to do in order to make money. Put out these caption-filled crackhead transition, even though I wouldn't really do that, but super close to the camera. This is what you want, the hook, XYZ. And that was more popular at the time on TikTok because, TikTok evolves insanely fast. That was more popular at the time than now. Now I see those videos from Grant Cardone or Jordan Belfort or Alex Hormozy, these entrepreneurs, which I was into at the time. I'll hand up. I thought Alex Hormozy was sick. I look at those videos now and I'm like, ugh, who watches this? And his views are down. I watched a video about how his views are down because people got sick of it. People got sick of the entrepreneur bro, work all the time, do this, because you're going to be so rich. The Andrew Tates of the world, he just talks about the same stuff. I watched part of his George Janko interview because I hadn't heard from him in a while. He's talking about the same things he did 2 years ago. And now I look at it too, it's cringe. He talks about stuff that's so cringe, how depression's fake. How are you going to tell that to someone who has cancer or whose family member passed away? That depression's a mindset? That's total bullshit. So now that I'm here, where do I go from here? Because I can't talk about my job. I can't. I'll get fired. And I don't want to run that risk. I don't want to give advice. I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for me. to be honest. Before, I would have maybe lied and said I'm doing it for you. And I do appreciate that people listen. It's awesome when people listen. On the same token, I get way more enjoyment out of doing this than I do when people say they listened. It's true. I appreciate when people listen. This isn't me being like, don't listen. Please do. I need you. And even with my most previous video, I was refreshing views, being like, man, this didn't really do as big as I thought. I thought it was really thoughtful. A ton of positive feedback, which I appreciated. Yeah, it's the double-edged sword of I want all these views, which I do, but my content isn't a vessel to get there because it's me, a nobody, talking about what I want to do with my life and how I can't. I'm not turning this into a business, at least not yet. That was never the goal of this. The goal of this was never to turn this into a business. The goal was never, I'm doing my podcast because I really want to sell you on my course, which is what so many people do, is I'm going to make content in order to tell people how to make content, and then I'll get money from them. That's pathetic. Watch me sell a course a year from now? No. I'm doing this for merch. Sure, I would sell t-shirts. I wear my uncle's merch all the time. It's right there on the floor. I love it in that respect. I would do merch just for the sake of I would think it would be funny to have t-shirts. I'm doing this so I can sell. What else do you even sell as a creator? It's you sell your course, and then you sell merch, and then you can sell a product like Prime or Feastables. Like, I want to be Mr. Beast. Do you know how exhausting that sounds? And I don't want to make content like that. The super just crackhead, I need to keep your attention. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll watch it. I'll watch Mr. Beast videos. I'm probably the oldest person who does. But I'll watch those videos just to stay tapped in with the YouTube community. And some of them are entertaining, even though they are designed for children. It's just my priorities have shifted. Before I was, to give myself credit, I'll do anything it takes. That's why you should watch the YouTube. I'll do anything it takes to make money so I don't have to get a job. And the whole time, too, that I was back at home, I was predicting I'm not stupid. I mean, I am, but I'm not. I have two options. It's either I go off and live at my own and lose all my money if I don't get a job, which is what happened, or I stay at home forever, which was not an option, until this blows up. So I chose option A, and here we are. I tried to keep it afloat with side jobs that didn't pay off. And a lot of it, too, we're being fully honest, if we're getting into what I tell my therapist, is the ego of I worked at a fucking pet store next to a bunch of high school dropouts. Don't get me wrong, they were cool. Some of them. Some weren't. Some were awesome. Some I still follow on Instagram. High school dropouts some of them were college grads. A job that a robot could do. They actually ask a lot of you too. A job that you need 2 brain cells to do. Move this bag here, do this, clean up the piss in aisle 2. And I have a degree from one of the best communication schools in the world. I do. I got my way in there. I didn't have any crazy connection. My dad didn't build the library. I got in there. I skated throughout high school. I skated throughout college. I came out with this degree. And now what? And now I'm working at a pet store. What? A degree that costs gross $320,000 to get. That's what it's worth, making $17.50 an hour at a pet store. I believe that's what I was making. Absolutely not. Caddying, on the other hand, didn't bother me as much. A little bit of, I did this when I was 13. But it was also, it's such a it's a gritty job, rather. And I took pride in that. And you can make a lot of money when you do get out. Part of me loves caddying still. Sometimes I'm like, should I do it on the weekends to make some extra money? I've thought about it. But then I enjoy my weekends. Nevertheless, the thing is, this isn't going to get popular because I'm just telling you about my fucking life right now. And nobody cares. The people who know me care. The people who don't know me, they have no reason to care. I have a couple fans who will hit me up on Instagram who I don't know, or at least I think I don't know. And it's funny. It's like, why the fuck would you listen to me? There is so much better content on the internet. Thank you. But I wouldn't watch me either, which I need to fix, or I don't. I'm doing it for me. So then why do I care what anyone thinks? But I do care what people think. It's a catch-22. I'm not willing to make the cheesy, corny, this is what Mr. Beast is doing. This is what Kanye's new album is going to look like. This is what Ice Spice slayed today. She served. Do you think I'm going to make that content? Or more applicably, this is how you make money. This is how you stay sober. This is how you cure acid reflux. I forgot about my sober posts. Hate all those too. I get likes on them still. And that's not a flex by any means. I wish it got no likes. I want to delete all of it. The only reason I'm not deleting it is that it gets me likes and followers still. Not a lot because it's been months since I posted that. But I don't want that stuff on my page. But it's the only thing that gives me a little bit of validation. I got 2,500 TikTok followers. I think I just got 2,501 the other day. What do you mean I think? I know. I check. I'm a narcissist, probably. I can't do anything with that audience because I don't have consistency. And should I just dive in and be the acid reflux guy? I don't know shit about nutrition. I'm pretty well informed in GERD because that's what I dealt with. I'm pretty well informed in sobriety. But a perfect example is Steph Still. Is Steph Still from the podcast. I should reach out to her. She was my first guest. I don't think she's doing this anymore. I get her emails to her newsletters. I don't attend her. I did a couple meetings of hers, to be honest. I don't attend those meetings. I'm on her newsletter still. But she doesn't post anymore. She had a way bigger audience than I did. I don't think her, with her few thousand subs, I don't know how many she has, to be honest. I don't think she could monetize. And that's not a shot. It's just... And she had the look in the sense of, this is my like catchy video of how I should be sober. She's more tapped in with the emotion side of things. Some of her videos did really well. They went viral on YouTube, which I never did. My best is the Charizard interview, which has about 900 views. She has a couple 100,000 on some. That's how I came across her. And she has good content. I don't. I do in some ways. I guess I just don't know. I wouldn't want to watch it. I can't watch it. And she wasn't able. She had the look of the YouTuber with the poppy like transitions and everything. I'm not doing that. I had the look of, I want to be Gary Vee. And I'm going to put the yellow captions in. Even now, captions on a video, maybe I'll do them smaller and I'm not making them colored and I'm not making them pop and I'm not putting pictures in, which I know is how to attention hack. I don't want to do that anymore. It's cringe. Don't want to do that. I'm not going to use the AI auto cut editing clip thing because I can see it in the other clips, the other accounts that use it. I'm not going to do it anymore because that's cringe too. Because I can see those videos from a mile away. And I knew that all the time, but I just didn't want to dedicate the time to editing these videos because they're annoying. Because they're annoying to edit. And the whole time I was like, I need a video editor. I need someone to show me the ropes of video editing. I would watch so many YouTube tutorials on how to put those captions in, so many TikToks about it, change it up. It worked for some of them. It worked for those videos. It did well. It did what it was intended to do. It got hundreds of thousands and sometimes millions of views. One time on that account, and another time on another account. It did well on TikTok Live, kind of during that stupid trend of not talking until my type joins. That was really dumb. I had some fun times though with Oliver on there. We had some good times. Nurse Lydia. That was a funny night. Lynette, my TikTok friend, she came to LA and she was at a wedding and she hit me up. It would be funny to meet someone in person. For any of my TikTok, so many people are probably like, what are you even talking about? For all my TikTok Live audience, maybe two of you. Who else was on there? There were a couple funny nights. I kept getting banned though, because I kept swearing. So what do I want to do? And for a while there, I wanted to stream, be like John Zerka, be like Sneeko. No. Social media is at a weird place, and I'm at a weird place with it. You think I like telling people I have a podcast? I get embarrassed just telling people I have a podcast. It's cringe because there's this stereotype of, oh, you're a podcasting bro. Oh, you grew up listening to Joe Rogan? Yeah, so what? I did. And I probably do fit that stereotype. But it's not a good one. Having guests on, I like sometimes, but to be honest, fully, I like talking a lot. If you couldn't tell, I would interrupt them all the time, which I'm trying to get better at in real life. People tell me I interrupt, and I don't even realize I interrupt them. And sometimes I feel like I could listen, but I catch myself being like, I'm doing a bad job at this conversation. I'm saying way too, I'll see it in group chats where it should be gray, 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 blue, gray, 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 blue. It's blue, 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 gray, blue, 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 gray, blue, gray, gray, blue. Take it easy. So where am I coming from this? I don't know. I don't have a fucking plan. I should, probably. But I don't. I do kind of want to make something that means something a little bit, in the sense of this podcast, I can edit and post this tonight and it's done. And it can be, I could do a 7-hour podcast stream of me taking a dump. I could do 7 hours of just going through my day, and that's 7 hours of content. I do kind of want to make something that's 3 minutes, that's 5 minutes, that's a minute, that's genuinely good, and I'm proud of it, and that took time. I haven't done that since college. I didn't think I'd miss that. I haven't done that since junior year of college. I do kind of miss that. I do want something that's real. Not that this isn't real, but that has a little upper echelon of value to the audience. A little more high effort content. This is very low effort content, is a great way of putting it. This is very low effort content, and I haven't put together anything high effort in a while. Even a script. I worked with American High on a script that got declined. Some of you know, I talked about it in the Oliver episode, I think. Calvin and the Chipmunks. Hamsters. Wow. Calvin and the Hamsters. That I can't even write on, but because they own it. Can I even talk about it? Sure. Calvin and the Hamsters. Yeah, that was my idea. I gave up on that, to be honest, though. I didn't try as hard as I could have, because other people were in it. Oliver was one, and I liked bouncing off ideas with him, but also, to be honest, I like doing things by myself. And then the third person I did not get along with. She and I butt heads. Very different styles of humor. Mine's better. Duh. She did not like me. I did not like her. She did not like the project. She didn't want to put her name on it. Hilarious. And she held me back from going full bore on a lot of things. And fuck that. I want to do what I want to do. If I couldn't tell, if I'm doing this for me, I'm so obsessed with myself. I'm looking at myself, talking to myself, about myself to other people. About what I should do with myself going forward. You're watching, though, so thank you. Point is, I just figured I'd hop on here and say, figuring it out. I have to figure out a new path for this. I want to figure out how to do more things creatively. I want to figure out how to grow the audience and hopefully make money off this in some regard, or treat this as purely a hobby, which I might have to. That's pretty much it. Ideally, every time in my mind, I don't even know if I've said this out loud, maybe once. Every time I'm in a good conversation, I wish it could just be invisibly recorded and then you post it. That would be my ideal career, is just talk to people. I love talking to people, especially ones I like. I love talking to myself, and I love hearing what I have to say about things, if you couldn't tell. And I just would love an invisible conversation, or a real conversation, be invisibly recorded, and that's my job. And I've had so many conversations that would be insane podcast episodes that get ruined when a mic gets put in front of it. So I don't know. What am I going to do? I don't know. I'm going to try and figure it out. But I have a lot of people who watch, even if it's 30, even if it's 27 downloads or whatever I got on the last episode audio-wise, and I think I got 37 views. I complain that that's not enough, but it's a lot. If you put it all in a room, that's a lot. I had a bunch of people text me. Thank you to everyone who texted me. People who DM'd me, thank you as well. We're figuring it out. We are. I am. This is about me. We're talking about me here. Enough about you. Back to me. That's it. I figure it's time to wrap it up. Thank you for listening. I'm sorry for only talking about myself, but I'm really not. And I'll catch you next time. I don't know when that's going to be. Go back to weekly. I don't know. We'll see. We'll just have to see. But thank you for listening. I'll see you later.